Hello guys, I'm just gonna show you a quick tutorial. In Fusion 360, sometimes you will have a lot of models and you want to, let's say you want to do a extrusion inwards for all these objects, but it's many objects, but you want to cut with a lot of objects. When you use the combine function in Fusion 360, that is not possible. It only allows one object to be the combinable object, and then you can have multiple to cut with. But in this case, you want to cut many objects with many objects. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. But you need to use a function called split body instead. So in this case, I have a lot of options. All of these have a disk under them, but I'm just going to show you with two here. So you start with the disks. It's really important. You need to select the objects manually first. So you go in, and in this case, I have marked them so I can easily spot them. So I mark this and mark this. Those are the two objects I want to cut into. And then I go to the modify menu while I'm in the solid environment, modify, and I select split body. Then I go and select the objects I want to use to cut with, and I make sure I have checked that I have two objects here that will be split, and I have the selection box for the splitting objects that I want to use to split with. So mark that one, make sure this one is not ticked. Do not extend the splitting tools. That's very important, because basically it will use the surface of the objects you're using to split with to cut out the cavity that you need. So untick that box and click that one. Then you go and you hold down Control key and you left click the two objects you want to use to split the bodies, and then you press OK. Depending on how many objects you have, this can take a long time. What will happen now is that it will use the face of the object you used to cut, and it will carve out and create that space into its own separate object. In this case, I found that when it will always take the place of the original object. So in this case, this one was originally the objects. If I hide the texts I used to cut, you will see that it looks like this. If I go up and I hide the two bodies that was generated, and voila, you managed to do a cut into two or potentially many objects at the same time. This is very useful when you have, like in my case here, you want to do a multiple objects. It's 10 by 10 objects, and you want to cut into all of them at the same time to make cavities into all of them, so that you can use the letters and print on top without overlapping. Those operations might take a long time because it takes time for it to cut out. Be patient, and I think you can handle it quite well. So I only showed you with two objects now. This is possible with several objects. The more you select, the longer it will take. So I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.